Tonight, more questions remain unanswered pertaining to the construction of a new wing at St. Jude's, and the crane scene at the George Odlum Stadium has also raised some new questions. The silence is deafening from key organizations on island after a well-known news reporter allegedly ingested harmful chemicals while in police custody. Taking lyrics from Teddyson John's award-winning performance over the weekend to heart, the senior communications officer in the office of the Prime Minister says, "Yo kapale." We'll have that details and more on these stories coming up in the nightly news broadcast.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
It is Monday, the 4th of March 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM 105.5 and 105.9, and CaribbeanHotTV.com and via our mobile app. I am Trisha Lionel, sitting in for lovely Amy Joseph. We begin the broadcast with news that it is no secret that the work is ongoing at the St. Jude's construction site, beginning with enabling works closer to the St. Jude's Highway. In an attempt to attain information which has not been forthcoming, on Thursday last week, Hot 7 News ventured to the site in an effort to speak to any official on how far the work has progressed. Enabling works began with this expanse of land already cleared. The enabling works ensure that there is a reduction in the soil for a solid platform which would make it conducive to build on. This is done partly by the removal of unsuitable material. However, on Thursday, the works were halted for two reasons. The rain was an impediment and an excavator was also not functioning. Amateur footage taken by this Hot 7 News reporter shows that part of the fencing, which stands as the first security barrier to the area, collapsed, providing anyone the ability to enter the construction site. The other security measure, according to a worker on the site, is the form of security guards who are stationed at the gate, taking shifts to provide around-the-clock surveillance. More footage taken over the weekend has surfaced, showing that several buildings have been overrun with shrubbery, beginning to show outward signs of decay. A 5-member team of service technicians decided to speak off-camera on Thursday with Hot 7, saying they do not know much about the project and were present merely to fix the non-functioning excavator. They refused to answer any further questions. 4 construction vehicles were parked on the construction site at the time. From the construction site to government offices, there is no official word or recent update on the St. Jude's Hospital. The last Minister Hot 7 News question admitted 2 weeks ago that he does not know very much. Has work begun on the St. Jude's Hospital?
I am not too sure. There was a time given for commencement. I haven't had any information as to whether it has started, since it's not under my ministry.
Economic Minister Guy Joseph late last year confirmed that the new wing will be built in an effort to centralize the services. The cost of the new wing being built is an estimated $80 million. Many questions since the minister last spoke to the media remain unanswered. Which entity has won the bid to design and construct the new wing? And what is the current state of the pre-construction stage services? When will it be completed? A further question, what exactly is being done at the George Odlum Stadium's roof? At the makeshift St. Jude's Hospital operating at the stadium, works were also underway. Workers made use of a crane on Thursday, seeming to make inspections on the east building. Attempts to reach the Minister of Economic Development on Monday proved unsuccessful. The Office of the Prime Minister's Nicole MacDonald is reminding members of the media that the government ministers are doing their best to be as responsive and transparent as possible, duties permitting to be part of the weekly press briefings. She says busy schedules might cause some issues, however, it is not a matter of them being intentionally dismissive. Rochelle Gonzalez has more.
As concerns have been raised over the lack of consistency within the Public Relations Department of the Office of the Prime Minister, the Senior Communications Officer in the OPM is dispelling any notion that there is a deliberate avoidance of the press on the part of the ministers. Nicole MacDonald said she does not understand where concerns from members of the media are coming from with regards to the infrequencies of weekly pre-cabinet press briefings. She said considering the time of year and the momentous occasion at hand, the respective ministers were more than open to the press.
We have press briefing last week. We had press briefing the week before. Our country was going through independence at the time, and I felt it was very important for us to discuss issues related to independence activities, related to how we, working with the local media, can get solutions all in, because you can't do something like that without the support of the local media to encourage unity, you know, to encourage people to come together. So we have been discussing independence at length. Minister Fortuna Belrose has spoken to the press extensively over the last few weeks about independence celebrations. Also, the public relations team for independence has also spoken at length with the press about the activities that are happening and the activities that will be happening for the year. So I'm not sure what the issue is in terms of press briefings.
Independence talk aside, MacDonald was then asked to give reasons behind the inconsistencies prior to the Big 40 celebrations. She said the pre-cabinet press briefings are held depending on whether there is cabinet or not.
You would remember that press briefings started because the press was not given the opportunity to interview the ministers in a proper setting. It would usually be trying to grab them off the street while they're dashing in. You know, we have an organized way to hold press briefings, and I look forward to working with our local media to ensure that they can have access to the ministers to ask questions.
With that said, MacDonald shared some concerns with the way the ministers are treated by the press in terms of the way the reports are disseminated. She said fake news should not be used as an easy way out to gain popularity and ratings. Case in point, a recent report including Senator Fortuna Belrose.
I feel that what the minister communicated did not actually come out in the press report. It was totally wrong to assert that the minister said that 500,000 had been spent on fireworks. This is a very sad situation, and that story had to be pulled by the news outlet that actually reported it. But across the board, I don't think it's my place to tell the media what they should or should not ask, or to criticize them in terms of the questions that they ask. You know, journalists need to go through the expected training. You know, they need to be guided, I guess, by the editors and by the heads of department. And I will not seek to direct the media as to what they should ask, what they should not ask. What I do ask from the media, however, is that as much as possible, they try to report the truth and that they get it right. If they need any clarification on any issue that they may not understand, I am available to assist.
MacDonald said the reporting of erroneous news falls solely on the one doing the reporting, since the avenues are there for facts to be checked and for research to be made. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Any news pertaining to a media colleague who is currently in hospital fighting for his life is hard to come across. Calls to the Public Relations Department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force have proved unsuccessful. Hot 7 News was told that no statement can be made without express permission by seniors. This was relayed to our news desk this afternoon at about 1 p.m. and as of now, there has been no further word from the police. It has been alleged that the reporter was at the time of the incident in police custody when he ingested harmful chemicals, which led to him being rushed to hospital. Reports indicate that he is in the intensive care unit fighting for his life. On Monday morning, it was rumored that the hard-hitting journalist passed away, but further investigations prove that that is not the case. He is alive and fighting to survive. We, his colleagues here at Hot 7, wish him a speedy recovery. And now, a statement from the president of the Media Association of St. Lucia.
The Media Association of St. Lucia over the weekend learned of the hospitalization of HTS Radio 100 journalist and presenter Rihani Isidore. As our colleague continues to fight for his life, our thoughts and prayers are with his immediate and extended family, especially his children and partner, friends, the management and staff of HTS Radio 100, and the wider media fraternity, many of whom are devastated by this situation. As a media fraternity, we remain thankful for the outpour of support from members of the public and other professional and civil society groups, whether through phone calls, messaging, or other means. Understanding the toll that this has taken on many of our colleagues and members, arrangements are currently being made for counseling to be made available to those affected. We express heartfelt thanks to the doctors and nurses at the Victoria Hospital who are doing the utmost within their control to ensure that Rihani remains with us. We understand that rumor and speculation has and will exist, but while we await official word from the relevant authorities, MASL makes no further statement on the matter. I ask that you, the general public, continue to keep our colleague, but foremost our friend, in your thoughts and prayers on his journey to recovery.
In other news, St. Lucia joins the rest of the world in observing Self-Injury Awareness Day on March 1st. More from Fennel Neptune.
As part of observing Self-Injury Awareness Day, the Department of Health and Wellness is working towards raising awareness among St. Lucians about self-injury and self-harm. The department is encouraging St. Lucians to be open-minded about mental health and recovery. Consultant psychiatrist Dr. Julius Gilead says it is important that people choose to be more open about their own self-harm and to receive the necessary assistance.
The aim of that day is to make persons aware of the help that is available to persons who are going through emotional distress. So, because we know that one of the main reasons persons self-injure is because they have no way of dealing with the emotional distress that they feel. So they self-injure more or less to make themselves know that what they're going through is real. So the self-injury is more or less a coping mechanism to deal with emotional distress.
Dr. Gilead says St. Lucians should take advantage of the services available at the National Mental Wellness Center.
Persons who are experiencing overwhelming emotions can get assistance. They can call the helpline at 203. Persons usually, what happens, they feel that they have to call the helpline when the emotion is too much and they are now thinking of suicide. So emotions can be dealt with early, or persons can learn other coping mechanisms instead of self-injury. And the self-injury usually predisposes persons to suicide at short-term or long-term after it happens. So persons need to know that assistance is available through the helpline, or they can go to their GP to get a referral to come to the National Mental Wellness Center where they can access counseling services.
The consultant psychiatrist is encouraging St. Lucians to help others suffering from the menace of self-injury and to lend support to them. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fennel Neptune.
When we come back, a comprehensive segment on how St. Lucia made the headlines over the weekend in a regional competition viewed by millions.